Hi, I'm Jim Berggren. I'm the pastor at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Houston, Texas. This is Pentecost 11, and it's from the Gospel of John. The Discovery Channel is clear on the concept. In nature, the object of existence is to get dinner without becoming dinner. Hunger drives us into effort, exposure, danger. Skillfully balancing our energy expenditures, we unconsciously prepare for the next hunt by consuming the fruits and conserving the energy of the last hunt. Sustenance taken, we kick back, belch contentedly, and sleepily murmur, "Thank God I'll never have to do that again." And then we wake up hungry, because that lunch cost a lot, didn't last. Every few years at synod conventions or continuing education seminars, a session leader will introduce us to a technique designed to help us all become more comfortable with evangelism. It is okay as an icebreaker, but it should never be confused with witnessing for Jesus Christ. By now, I've been through that exercise 9 times, maybe more. We were to practice witnessing by describing and lauding our favorite restaurant to our table mates on the convention floor. To demonstrate, the leader would proceed to sing the praises of a favorite restaurant, maybe exotically perched on a terraced hillside in Peru, overlooking a crystal blue bay with incredible ambiance, indigenous entertainment, attentive wait staff, and exquisitely delectable food. Apparently, the leader could tap into enough funds to go on international junkets and eat like a king. Jealous? Of course. Hearing this, I'm like a starving hyena, wistfully staring at the lion's kill. It was a well-rehearsed oration. See? That was easy. Now, go around the table and everybody witness by telling your story about your favorite restaurant. That'll give us practice in telling other people about Jesus. Well, it was checkmate in one move. No one's going to come up with a better greasy spoon. Lord help us all. We're all going to try. For the next 30 minutes, unwitting sycophants in a contest we've already lost, concerning who eats best at the top of the food chain, and by metaphoric association, whose superior Jesus should be proclaimed and followed. Unmasked, the game is, I'm cool, my God is cool, and you're not. It's a hierarchical value system of James and John, the sons of thunder. A system Jesus would eschew. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. The person next to me started, which meant I had the time it took for the tales of 6 beamingly epitomable bistros to be told. What will I say when my turn comes? I didn't want to exaggerate restaurant experiences in an attempt to play a game of one-upsmanship, any more than I'd want to lie about Jesus by trying to be one-up on a fellow servant of Christ. My haute cuisine is better than your soup line, and my Jesus makes yours insignificant. So I'm having a crisis of conscience. I must decide on the right story. What is my truth about food and life and Jesus? Maybe I'll talk about T. Patari's wild game in New Orleans. I had an amazing meal there with wild black bear steak. It was truly tasty. It took 90 minutes to eat, chewing each tough, tiny morsel at least 50 times. It was a delightfully seasoned Tony Lama. Maybe I should tell of delightful repasts at Vargo's, listening carefully to the oral menu, not daring to ask the price because if you got to ask, you can't afford. And then after formal dining, romantic walks with candy, and a garden full of black swans and white swans, guinea fowl, shrieking peacocks. No, maybe I'll talk about our engagement meal when I proposed to Candy at Tony's 4 decades ago. There the thrill wasn't the food, but the love, the friendship, the future. After all, the meal, while highly touted on all five-star restaurant surveys, was noodles. Really, 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 really wonderful noodles. But wait, all of those are just my prideful way of making my position higher in the pack. They're about me. They're not about Jesus. They're not free lunch forever. I don't want an ego trip. I have to decide pretty soon, though. Maybe I'll just blow off the truth, go with humor. I'll tell them about the Roadkill Cafe. You kill it, we grill it. From your grill to ours. Takes guts to eat here. Their specialty is wild asparagus, gathered from the ditches on the county highway. And they serve it with hollandaise sauce on clean hubcaps found in the ditch. Because there's no plate like chrome for the hollandaise. Suddenly, everyone's looking at me, a senior pastor. 40 years on the front line. It's my turn. Responsibility weighs heavily. Jim, you have to say something wise and witnessy. Fashionably cynical, postmodern, progressive, and chic. And don't forget to lob a Jesus bomb in at the end with your salad fork. Desperate, I blurt. Truth is, best restaurant's McDonald's. For the look that comment got, I may as well have broken wind at Tony's. Now I had to explain. Hey, based on frequency of meals and annual budget, the objective bottom line, like it or not, shows that my default preference is McDonald's. Get 2 McDoubles, you throw away 1 bun, you got a $3 quadruple cheeseburger with 4 pickles, 2 dashes of diced onions, a dollop of ketchup, and all the food groups are there. Grain and dairy, protein, and veggies. As to how that could possibly bring my Jesus into the life of another person, well, it is a lunch that's fairly free and fairly close to forever. And sometimes I buy 10 and pass them out under the bridge. Jesus is not a rare, once-in-a-lifetime meal that becomes an obsession or a distant memory of a good time. I don't want my friends to feel bad or somehow less because they hadn't seen a burning bush or weren't there with me in my blazing transfiguration. I want them to feel great when they find out Jesus has been all over their life, even in the most common circumstance. They just maybe didn't notice it. I don't want to convince anybody that they have to go to Teep Batari's and chomp on gladly the cross-eyed bear to be saved. I don't think they're missing anything. Right now, not at all. My witness is to identify the present action of God, grace, Jesus, and the fact of salvation that we experience daily. Hungry, don't go to Vargo's. It's too late, they're closed. Try McDonald's. It's everywhere. 23,000 worldwide. London built the largest McDonald's in the world for their Olympic Games. They tore it down after the games were over. But it was there when they needed it. Jesus is not too good to be true. Unapproachable. He's right here with us. Plain and simple. Jesus isn't birthday cake. He's daily bread. Jesus is not rare and scarce. He's common and extravagant. Jesus' banquet puts Herod's banquet to shame. For me, Jesus has been a daily walk together, a constant companion, a brother I fuss with. Sometimes he's aggravating, sometimes exciting, sometimes boring, sometimes challenging with the stubbornness of a nemesis God whose grace steadfastly refuses to indulge my self-destructive will. I see them a lot in the faces of people that touch my life every day. I think I know them pretty well, but the truth is, there's always so much more to discover. He simply is not the meal of hand-massaged Kobe beef served in the penthouse of the highest tower in Dubai. He's the eat and run to serve others, always there, metabolic fuel station, like McDonald's. Not too rare or exclusive a personage for you to meet. Not gourmet at all, but always present, always sustaining. In his opening statement at the Scopes trial, speaking against William Jennings Bryan, Clarence Darrow compared Christians to dogs and suggested it would be best to strangle them when they were young. He also said, "Life to me is an unpleasant interlude of nothingness." How sad. Jesus said, "I am the bread of life." If you like buffets, my guess is that you'll skip the bread in favor of not using up space for the meat and the cheesecake a la mode. But the people who heard Jesus say this used bread both as the utensil for picking food up and eating and as an essential part of the meal. You pick your food up with the bread, the way to the main dish is with the bread of life. And after the meal, the bread will clean your face and your hands. Purification, sanctification. Jesus said, "I am the living bread. If anyone eats of this bread, he'll live forever." Bread of life, the free lunch forever, calls us into a whole new reality, full of grace, forgiveness, new capabilities, righteousness. Of course, we'll get hungry. That's an effective motivator. But with the lunch that lasts, we'll never hunger for joy or purpose again. Eternal bread, a lunch that is always there and sticks to your ribs forever. Free lunch forever, food for thought. Amen.